If you're struggling to start a sustainable fashion brand, I am sharing my secret strategies on how you can successfully launch and make at minimum $20,000. Let's dive in. A common problem that I see slow fashion founders making, especially when they're first starting out, is not validating their products. And the consequences of that are very, very devastating because usually when you launch, it'll flop. And that means that you have spent tens of thousands of dollars into production, you're not gonna be able to get your cash out of your inventory, and it's a really stressful situation to be in.
And I don't want this to happen to you, and I don't want you to be in this situation. So, my first secret strategy is for you to take a customer-first approach. It is exactly what it sounds like. We are going to put your customers first throughout this entire process so that you are thinking about them when you're making your products and you know exactly what they need, what they want, and so that when you finally launch, that's how you're going to be able to be wildly successful and make at minimum $20,000.
To start with taking a customer-first approach, we're going to begin with identifying your ideal customer. This part is crucial. So we're going to pick who you are going to serve, who you're going to help, and who you're going to support with your brand. So really pinpoint and narrow it down. What do he, she, they look like? What are they passionate about? What are they interested in? And this is important because you need to get as specific as possible. Because when you cater to the masses, you relate to no one. And let me say that again, when you try to cater to everyone and your messaging is for everyone and your products are for everyone, no one's really going to relate to you. But if you can niche down, narrow down, and get very specific, you can get quite tailored with your messaging. And then people can really feel like your brand is exactly for them. And it's the same concept with this video. I could have done a video all about secret strategies on how to launch a sustainable business or a business in general, but that wouldn't have been as specific or as helpful to you as you're starting a sustainable fashion brand. So exact same thing with you, niche down, and don't look at it as leaving money on the table. I know a lot of people think that, but as a new brand with limited resources, limited time, and limited budget, it is so important to focus so that your resources can go further. Make sure you pick your ideal customer, and then a tip as well is to ensure that you feel passionate helping this person, because you're going to be thinking about them every single day. You're going to try to figure out how to best support them, and so really make sure you feel compelled to help this person. Once you've identified your ideal customer, the next step is to really get to know them. You want to know what their demographic information looks like, so how old they are, where they live, what jobs they have, their income level, all that stuff, as well as psychographic information, such as their hobbies, their interests, all those types of things. And then you can have a complete picture of what they look like. It is so important to make your business decisions based on data. Do not just go out and assume. You can have hypotheses, of course, but then you want to go out and validate it. So get that data. And the way you can do that is to leverage surveys and questionnaires or interviews. And we recommend our clients to leverage both tools. So the second step in the customer-first approach is to understand the problem. So we've identified your ideal customer. We're now either doing a survey and/or interview to get that data. And while you're getting that data, really try to drill down on a pain point. You need to base your products on a pain point, because long gone are the times where we just make product for the sake of making product. If you want to stand out in a saturated market and you want to truly create a product that is sustainable, it needs to be used and it needs to add value to people's lives. I cannot stress this enough. People will put down their credit card, they will give you their money if they think that a product will solve a pain point for them, and they will actually use it if it solves that pain point. And I know for you, you desperately want to have a successful launch, but you also want your products to be used in the world, because that's the true definition of a sustainable brand, if your products are being used and people are actually wearing them. So understand their problem, and there might be several problems that they're dealing with, but pick the one that you are most compelled to solve, and really make sure you solve the right problem and you get down to the root of it. So ask them what their pain points are with their wardrobe, ask them what's missing from their wardrobe, ask them what they wish they had, and really get curious. And it's really important to get enough responses so that you have enough statistically significant data. You don't want to base your business on 5 people's thoughts, right? Like you want to try to at least get 100, if not more than that. So make sure you understand the problem. And then next, once you've picked a problem you're passionate about solving and you know your ideal customer is really struggling with it, you're going to brainstorm a solution. So this is important because you want to make sure you don't limit your creativity. So do whatever you need to do to get into a creative space. Maybe meditate, maybe do something you like take a walk outside, and then just jot down a bunch of ideas you have to solve that solution. Don't limit yourself. And then after you're done, pick your top 3. And then after that, you're going to co-create the solution. This is key. So you've done the work to identify who you're targeting. You've done the work to really make sure you understand their problem. You've brainstormed some solutions, and now you're going to co-create it with them. You want to make sure you validate your products. So ask them if they would pay for this. Ask them if they're excited about it. And if you have picked the right problem and you're on the right track, most people that are your ideal customer, which is key, you want to ask your ideal customer, but most people will actually say something along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Let me know when it's out. I will literally give you my credit card. I'm so excited for this." That's the type of response you want. So once you have your solution, then and only then are you permitted to go and make it. And the problem is most people start from the end, which is making the solution, and that's why their launch flops, and that's why they sit on unsold inventory, because they haven't done all of this pre-work about figuring out their customer, figuring out their problem, figuring out what they should make for them, and really trying to think about it from a customer first approach. This is so crucial. And I know sometimes you can think that, oh, this is not a big deal. I'm just doing fashion. What kind of pain points could I actually be solving? But we wear clothes on a daily basis, and we wear clothes for all situations of our lives. So you would be surprised, and I really encourage you to get curious, get to know your ideal customer, because that's going to make such a big difference in your success. Once you have narrowed down your ideal customer, their problem, and the product that you're going to be making, my next secret strategy is to keep things simple when it comes to your designs, sourcing, and also production. Let me break that down. When it comes to the products you're making, I always recommend to our clients to only make 1, max 2 products for their first launch. This is crucial because I want you to invest all of the time, resources, and energy required to make these first couple of products a huge success. You want to make sure that they're the highest quality possible, they solve the problems, and people love it, so that you can build your brand loyalty and your reputation. So make sure you do that and you really focus and you knock it out of the park. When it comes to designing your products, make sure if you don't have a fashion background or a technical design background, you hire someone to do it. I know this goes without saying, but please do not do it yourself. In terms of hiring someone, make sure you ask for referrals, you see their portfolios, and ensure that you're comfortable working with them. For our clients, we do warm intros and warm connects, but in your case, you'll just make sure you have to do your due diligence. Trust your gut and really feel like you are going to create a partnership with the designer, because they are literally bringing your designs to life. And when it comes to the working relationship, I really recommend you take a collaborative approach. That's always what we recommend to our clients and what we've seen be the most successful. So tell them who your ideal customer is, show them the data, show them the problem, and really overview what you're trying to solve here, and then tell them about the co-created solution that you have developed. And then a really good designer will work with you on how to best bring that to life. So they can help you with commercial viability, they can give you advice on how you can do your patterns, for example, so that you don't generate a lot of waste, you can save on fabric. And then also, they can give you advice on how to make the manufacturing process not as painful and so that it doesn't cost you as much money. So a really good designer can help you with all of that. So do your due diligence. And like I said, make it collaborative. They have expertise and they have knowledge that you do not. So lean on them, trust them, and just make sure that you find someone that you are really, really excited to work with. When it comes to your materials, keep it simple. The beauty of having 1 or 2 products is that you can likely just use 1 material, and that's what we recommend for our clients. We also connect our clients with mills and materials that we recommend based on the products that they're using. But in your case, you want to do your due diligence again. So scour the interwebs, ask for referrals, and ask for swatches or samples of fabric. People will quite literally send you swatches of fabric, and then you can touch them, you can feel them. And I highly recommend you pull on them, you stretch them out. I would also wash them just to see what happens. And then you can really pick your favorite fabric. And for your first collection, I recommend you keep your production local and make it simple, right? That way you can pop in and out, you can get experience of the process, and really trust that the quality is there for your first collection. For our clients, we give them warm intros to trusted manufacturers and partnerships that we've developed. And so sometimes they can go international and get cost savings there. But if this is your first production run and you're doing it yourself, I would highly recommend just keeping it local so that it makes your life easier. And yes, maybe the costs are higher, but again, if you keep your design simple and your product isn't too hard to make, that can give you cost savings as well. And you just have peace of mind and ease of mind knowing that you can pop in and out and you can develop that relationship with them. Throughout this entire process, think about how you can simplify, right? So we're gonna do 1 to 2 products. We are going to have 1 material. We're gonna try to keep your production local. And throughout this entire process, you're gonna work with an amazing designer that also has that frame of mind so that they can help you with cost savings and really delivering an amazing product to your end consumer. A lot of people give up at this stage because it can be very overwhelming. So keep it to 1 to 2 products, and then that way you don't stress yourself out too much and you can really perfect them. If you're getting a lot out of these strategies, I wanted to share that I put out a 30-page free ebook outlining exactly how you can go from idea to successful launch that makes over 20K. There are worksheets and exercises in this ebook as well, so make sure you snag your copy. You can do so at recloseted.com/launch or click the link in the description box. Now let's get back into the video. My next secret strategy is to build your audience at least 8 months before you launch. This is crucial because I don't want you to be in a situation where you launch and there's crickets because you only have your friends and your family members following you. You want to make sure you intentionally and consciously build your audience of ideal customers because they are going to be the ones paying for your products. You want to make sure your ideal customers are following you and you're nurturing them over at least 8 months, if not longer. And the key with this is to think about your ideal customer the entire time. So what platforms are they on? And you really want to make sure that you are on those platforms because do not spend the time, do not spend the resources, and do not spend the energy doing content if they're not even going to see it. So you want to make sure you're strategic and you figure out where they are so that you can market directly to them. For example, if your target customer is an executive working woman that has a 9-to-5 job and she's further on in her career, she's probably going to skew a bit older and she's likely not on TikTok. So even if there's certain platforms that are taking off or you need to be on them, if your ideal customer is not there, you do not need to be on it, period. Do not have FOMO because if you're spending time, energy, resources, and money putting content together and trying to grow a platform, but your ideal customer is not there, it's a waste of your time, energy, money, and resources. And I cannot stress this enough. So really be strategic. So instead, for my example, for that 9-to-5 executive working woman, I would probably pick a platform like LinkedIn or something like that where they already are there. That's key. And so another example to really solidify this, if you are starting a sustainable bridal brand, then I would definitely recommend using Pinterest because brides-to-be are already there pinning things. And it doesn't always have to be Instagram. It doesn't always have to be TikTok. It needs to be wherever your ideal customer is. And I cannot stress this enough. And do not assume you know which platforms they are. Go out and get that data. So it goes all the way back to my very first strategy around putting your customers first and getting that research. Make sure you do your due diligence. And then the other thing that is so important is to keep it simple, even for your marketing strategy. Once we have decided you're going to be launching on a certain date and we're going to work backwards and we're going to build your community, you want to go all out on one social media platform and partner that with emails. So those are the 2 platforms you're going to be on, social media platform and emails. And let me explain why. When it comes to building a marketing platform or a social media platform like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, whatever it is, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time. And as a solopreneur, or even if you have a co-founder, your time is limited, especially when you start out. So to be consistent, to show up with good content that people find valuable and they would want to pay for, you need to put all of your eggs in that one basket. So choose your platform really carefully and then go all out so that you can grow it, you can see results, and then you can get funding to your brand because they're going to be buying your products, and then you can expand. Keep it simple. Don't have FOMO here as well. Really, really be selective so that you can get as much organic reach as possible. And then I always recommend to our clients to also couple that with email marketing because you never know, One day, a social media platform might just close down, and then if you only have customers on that platform and that's the only method of communication you have with them, you literally just lost your entire customer base. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's a very extreme example, but it could happen. A more day-to-day, nuanced, annoying example is the fact that algorithms are always changing, right? So I'm not gonna name any names of platforms, but you don't wanna be at the beck and call of algorithms too. You wanna make sure that you can connect with your customers if you need to. And that's where emails come into play. Emails are very important customer real estate because you own that data, and no matter what the algorithm looks like, and even if a social media platform shuts down, you can still talk to them. So pick one social media platform, couple it with email marketing, and take 8+ months to intentionally build it out. Every time you're thinking about your content strategy, and I can do more videos on this in the future if you like, think about it from your ideal customer's perspective. What would they find valuable? Remember that people will only follow you, people will only subscribe you or like your content if they resonate with it and they get something out of it. So remember that. And one question I commonly get when I say you need to start building your platforms at least 8 months in advance of your launch is that people get it in theory, but then when they sit down to plan their content, they get confused because they say, but Selena, I don't have any products. Like, what types of photos am I supposed to put out? Or what types of content am I supposed to put out if I don't even have photos? The beauty of this is I really want you to document your journey and share the behind the scenes because people really resonate with that and they relate to that. And then you can start to build that trust and build that brand loyalty. Because if you think about it, if you get to follow a founder's journey from idea all the way to launch and you feel invested in the entire process, when they finally launch, you're gonna want to do everything you can to support them and everything you can to make sure they're successful. Especially if you're connecting with your ideal customer throughout this entire process, you make it crystal clear you're trying to serve them and support them and solve a problem for them, and you're creating something that is just for them. That's the secret recipe to success when it comes to launch marketing and exactly what we show our clients. So don't be afraid to show snippets of materials you're checking out or your production facility, the behind the scenes, if you get consent, of course, the design process, the whole marketing process. Really have fun with it, enjoy it, and then I'm gonna do another video on content strategy probably, so let me know in the comments if that would be helpful to you, but share the behind the scenes, get that trust, get that brand loyalty going so that when you launch, you're not just launching to your friends and family members, you have a built up community of your ideal customers that are really itching to buy from you and itching to support you and really want to get their hands on your products. That's how you make a very successful launch, and that's how you make at minimum 20K. Plan your launch at least 6 months in advance. This is very similar to building out your community, but in order to ensure that your launch goes successfully, there's so many moving pieces, and you just want to make sure that you've thought of it, you know when you're going to execute it, so that when it happens, you actually get to enjoy the fruits of your labor and you get to enjoy launching your brand, and you also don't burn out because it doesn't make sense for you to be burning out, stressed out, overwhelmed while this is very important to your business as it's the first time you're making revenue. So plan your launch at least 6 months in advance. And for our clients, we actually created a detailed work back schedule that will automatically populate which days they should be doing what. But in your case, just do that yourself manually right now. Like, do a brain dump of all the different things that you need to do, write down when you're gonna do it, and just be organized about it, because if you're not, come launch month, you're gonna be running around stressed out, on empty, and that's just not the greatest space for you to be in for that important time period. So make sure you take a second to think about that. And in the free ebook that I previously mentioned, which you can get at recloseted.com/launch, we have an entire space for you to do that. So if you want to get that ebook, make sure you do so. But take the time to plan your launch. It's so important. And my next secret strategy is to know your why. This is crucial because launching a successful, sustainable fashion brand takes a lot of work. You need to know your customer, you need to be intentional with production, you need to start your marketing ASAP, you need to plan your launch ASAP. And so throughout this, you're going to face trials and tribulations. That's just guaranteed. But to get through it, you need to know your why. Why are you starting this business? Why is sustainability important to you? Why do you want to start a sustainable fashion brand? In the ebook, there's going to be exercises and prompts to help you figure out your why, but take a second to really think through it. Once you've really gotten down to the root of the matter, I always tell our clients to write it down on a post-it note and then stick them everywhere so that you are reminded on a daily basis about why you are doing this. This will give you fuel and really encourage you and push you to keep going because you need to persevere. There's going to be challenges and you don't want to give up right before the finish line, right? So make sure you know your why. You stick it in your office, you stick it on your bathroom mirror, your fridge, wherever it is, and whatever you need to do it. But know your why because that's so important. Comment, I am going to successfully launch my brand so that I know you got up to this point and also so that you can speak your success into existence. If you got a lot out of this video, we have an amazing free ebook, so make sure you snag it at recloseted.com/launch. It would be an amazing complimentary resource to this video, and there's additional resources that you can binge to help you successfully launch. Thank you for watching this video. I am so honored to support you on your entrepreneurial journey, and together, let's transform the harmful fashion industry.